Teach your children to choose the right path, and when they are older, they will remain in it. Proverbs 22 verse 6. Children are a blessing from the Lord. Psalm 127 verses 3 to 5. Being blessed with children comes with a lot of responsibilities. As a parent, you should devote quality time with your children. Children require the constant attention of their parents. You can do a lot to influence the destiny of your children. Do all in your power to influence them positively. The kind of training you give your children determine what they will become tomorrow. You and your husband should spend quality time with them. Invest money in books for their educational, mental, spiritual, and emotional development. Train your children to become readers. By developing the habit of reading, you set them on a course for future leadership. Your children should have time to study, play, do their homework, exercise, watch television, pray, and read their Bible. Your children learn better from what you do than from what you say. Always do the right thing. You cannot live an ungodly life, but tell your children not to follow your example. It will never work. Your children will become what you teach them to become. How do you raise godly children in a generation that is unarguably under pressure from the social media, peer group, and the society? There is natural urge to be like everybody, all of which are capable of pushing them away from God's purpose for their life. Parents need to know and be assured that with their countermeasures of practical and unconditional love, godly exemplary living, provision basic necessities, giving of appropriate instructions, corrections, discipline, and praying off all negative influences, your child will be firmly rooted in the center of God's will for his or her life and will turn out to be a blessing to you and the society at large. The Bible says it all. In the book of Proverbs 22 verse 6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. That is why a home environment permeated by the spiritual fragrances of righteousness and love is the number one shield needed by every child to combat the negative influence of our culture and the world. To raise godly children, your responsibility as parent is not restricted to educational, mental, physical, and emotional or financial development alone, but also their spiritual development. Instilling the fear of God in your children and teaching them the counsel of God is an investment which will produce fruits for many generations. Several years ago, a comparative study was done on descendants of two men, Max Jukes and Jonathan Edwards. Max Jukes was an atheist, godless, and he married an atheist like himself. He never goes to church, nor allow his children to go as well. Years later, record of his descendant was traces, and it was discovered that 310 died as pauper, 150 became criminals, 7 murders, and 100 were well-known drunkard, and more than half of the women were prostitutes. John Edwards, on the other hand, was a committed Christian who gave God first place in his life. He married a godly lady, and years later his descendants were traced, and there were 100 missionaries, 100 lawyers, 65 professors, 56 medical practitioners, 30 judges, 13 college presidents, 80 public office holders including 1 vice president, 3 senators, 3 governors, and 3 majors. The lesson to be learned from the above record is that no one who goes into partnership or business with God, to decide to serve God, can ever lose or go bankruptcy.